You probably think the AI boom is about ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, or any other specific AI. You open an app. You type a question or give a command. And AI gives you an answer or a response. It feels like software. But what if I told you that behind that simple answer, there is a machine that needs chips, buildings, electricity? And now, hundreds of billions of dollars from Wall Street. And one company is sitting right in the middle of it. NVIDIA. But there is something even more interesting happening now. Wall Street is not just investing in AI companies. It is starting to finance the machines that run AI. And that changes the story completely. Let's start with something simple. When you use ChatGPT, you see a screen. But the screen is not doing the hard work. Somewhere else, powerful computers are processing your request. And those computers need powerful chips. This is where NVIDIA comes in. NVIDIA makes some of the key chips used to train and run modern AI systems. And the demand has become enormous. NVIDIA reported more than $215 billion in revenue for its latest fiscal year. Its data center business alone brought in more than $62 billion in one quarter. So clearly, someone is buying all these chips. But where do those chips go? They go into servers. Those servers go into huge data centers. And these data centers need cooling. They need networking. They need buildings. And they need electricity. A lot of electricity. The U.S. Energy Information Administration says data centers are becoming a major driver of electricity demand. In fact, the EIA expects U.S. electricity use to keep growing, with large computing facilities playing a major role. So now look at the AI boom again. It is not just software. It is hardware. It is buildings. It is power. And it is infrastructure. But there is one more thing this machine needs. Money. A lot of it. And this is where our story takes a turn. On August 10th, NVIDIA announced something unusual. It partnered with 6 major financial firms. Apollo, BlackRock, Blackstone, Brookfield, Goldman Sachs, and KKR. Together, they plan to create financing platforms that could mobilize more than $500 billion of third-party capital for AI infrastructure over time. Now, stop here. This does not mean NVIDIA is simply writing a $500 billion check. The money is expected to come from outside investors. The goal is to make it easier to finance the huge amount of computing infrastructure that AI companies need. And suddenly, Wall Street is part of the AI machine. But why does AI need Wall Street? Because building this infrastructure is expensive. Imagine a company wants to build a huge AI data center. It needs land, buildings, servers, NVIDIA chips, cooling, power, networks. And all of this has to be paid for before the data center starts making money. That creates a problem. The AI companies want more computing. The chip companies want to sell more computing. The data center companies want to build more computing. But someone has to finance all of it. And now, financial institutions want to help provide that money. But here is where things get really interesting. The financial world is starting to look at AI computing in a different way. Instead of simply asking, which AI company should we invest in? The question becomes, can the machines that run AI themselves be financed? Reuters reports that Goldman Sachs is already talking with potential investors about joining NVIDIA's financing initiative. The idea is to create financing that can attract insurers, asset managers, and banks. In other words, AI infrastructure is slowly becoming something that can be packaged, financed, and sold to investors. That is a very different story from simply buying an AI stock. And there is another connection. Earlier this year, OpenAI announced $110 billion in new investment. NVIDIA committed $30 billion. OpenAI also secured more computing capacity from NVIDIA. So think about the chain. You use ChatGPT. OpenAI needs computing power. Computing power needs NVIDIA chips. Those chips need data centers. Data centers need electricity. Building all of this needs money. And now, financial companies are helping create new ways to finance it. The AI boom is becoming a giant financial and infrastructure system. But there is a question hiding underneath all of this. What if the demand is not as big as everyone expects? Because these machines are expensive. Very expensive. And AI hardware does not last forever. New chips arrive. Old chips become less attractive. Technology changes. So investors have to ask, what happens to the value of all this hardware if the AI boom slows down? That is the risk. And it is also why this new financing model is so interesting. Because someone has to carry that risk. The technology company. The data center operator. The bank. The investor. Or all of them. And this is where I think the AI story becomes much bigger than AI. Goldman Sachs estimates that AI-related investment around the world could pass $1 trillion in 2026, with about $581 billion in the United States alone. Think about that. $1 trillion. In 1 year. And the money is not only going into AI models. It is going into the physical world around AI. Chips. Data centers. Power. Networks. Construction. And finance. So, what is the $500 billion machine really telling us? Maybe it is not simply about NVIDIA. And it is not simply about ChatGPT. It is about something much bigger. We are building an entire economy around artificial intelligence. And Wall Street wants a piece of it. The real question is not whether AI is growing. It clearly is. The real question is, how much money can this machine absorb before it has to prove that it can create enough value in return? Maybe the answer will be enormous. Maybe AI will become one of the biggest technologies in human history. Or maybe some of today's investments will prove too early. Too expensive. Or simply too much. We don't know yet. And that's what makes this story worth watching. Because the AI revolution is no longer happening only inside our computers. It is happening in factories. In data centers. On power grids. Inside banks. And now, inside the financial system itself. Maybe the biggest AI story isn't what the machines are learning. Maybe it's what the world is building around them. This is Third Eye 46. Look again.